The death toll from Maui's devastating wildfires has now risen to 99. The police chief there says at least 25% of historic Lahaina town has been searched for victims' remains, and today officials will begin releasing the names of those who died in the fires.
And we do have live team coverage. Our Tina Patel is live at LAX as a flight from Hawaii is arriving any moment now. She's going to have a live report at 6:30. Jessica Cartalia is in Maui. She's got the latest on the investigation into the wildfires. But first, let's begin with our very own Rudabeh Shabazi. She has been speaking with impacted residents there. Rudabeh, good morning.
Good morning. And that death toll, as you mentioned, is expected to rise. Some officials saying they expect it to double or triple in the coming days. But the good news is that they have gone through a quarter of that area, and that some supplies, at least, are reaching the people who have been completely cut off, including Starlink satellites. So communication is a little bit better, and hopefully some of those 1,000 people who are unaccounted for will be accounted for and able to reach their families and loved ones. But you asked earlier about medical care and how people were getting treatment, et cetera. And one thing we don't think about maybe immediately in the aftermath of these tragedies is the mental health toll that this takes, the emotional toll for so many people who have been in shock over the past few days. They've been doing everything they can to help, jumping into action, but these will leave emotional scars for a long time to come. So there are grief counselors now coming from other parts of the island, also from other islands and even from the mainland, some of them even training people to do breathing exercises so they don't have panic attacks and can kind of temper the emotional distress. Take a listen to what one of them had to say.
I'm just holding a safe space and allowing them to cry, just being present for them and providing some trauma-informed care, as well as just listening to them, because sometimes they just need to process. A lot of them are still experiencing some stress and some shock factor, and so our goal is to just allow them to process what they're experiencing.
And we've seen this whole range of emotions since we've been here over the past few days. A lot of shock, people kind of just walking around shell-shocked and then jumping into action to try to do what they can, but also a lot of grief and sadness and the community really coming together to help each other. This feeling of ohana, which means family in Hawaiian. People call each other auntie and uncle, even if they're not related. And so there is a long tradition of Hawaiians coming together to help each other, help the community step up and do everything they can to support each other. And churches, we're at the LDS church right now, they play a major role in Hawaiian culture and society, and they have been really on the front lines of stepping up and providing all kinds of relief to people in need.
Okay, Rudabeh, thank you so much for that update. And now let's go to KCAL News reporter Jessica Cartalia as the investigation continues into what caused the wildfire. And Jessica, authorities there are now facing questions about whether more could have been done in the lead up to this disaster.
Absolutely. So the big question, of course, on everyone's mind is why weren't they alerted? Why didn't those alarms sound? We have one of the most technologically advanced alarm systems on the Hawaiian island chain. The other concern, or the other investigative piece, rather, is that was it a power line that actually fell over and ignited everything? They're still trying to figure all of that out. The government, meanwhile, as you mentioned, is being criticized for not warning everybody of what was coming, but they're saying it just all happened incredibly quickly. It's the deadliest wildfire now in the U.S. in more than a century that destroyed all of those homes and businesses in Lahaina. In some places, the flames moved as fast as a car at highway speed. So just to give you some perspective, that would be a mile a minute. Survivors, meanwhile, are still trying to process all of this trauma as they just begin to think about rebuilding their lives. But as some of the survivors do return home to Lahaina, we're learning that looting has become a major concern.
There were some people who went back to their places and sheltered in place because their homes were intact and they had to fend off potential break-in.
I don't know how things gonna be because we don't have no housing or whatnot, so we just hope for the best.
Now, fortunately, power has been restored to most of the residents. All but about 2,000 people are with power now. So they're trying to get those 2,000 people the help that they need. About 25% of the entire area has been searched. And officials are saying they estimate that as many as 10 to 20 bodies may be recovered a day. So this is going to be a very lengthy process. Back to you.
Yeah, still so much to do. Jessica, thank you for that.
The devastation in Maui has left so many people in need of everything. You can help. Go to cbsnews.com/Red Cross to make a donation.
CBS News Los Angeles, your local news, streaming wherever, whenever.